So in today's video, I am going through the pros and cons of playing Greenville. So as we all know, Greenville overall is a pretty good game to play. However, I do want to go through the pros and cons for some of you new players possibly, and even just for players who always play the game anyways. Also, if you guys haven't already, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe, or you are actually going to become this Ferrari. And I mean, I guess it's pretty cool being a car, but it's like, I'd rather be a human instead because you'd be way more functional, but it's really up to you guys what you want to do. So for the first thing here, we are going to be moving on to pros. So number one, the cars are extremely detailed in Greenville. And you may say that they aren't that detailed, but for a Roblox game, Greenville actually does a really good job at making their cars as realistic as possible, as they actually use a program called Blender to model their cars. So many games, even outside of Roblox, actually use Blender to model certain things, like characters, like buildings, and even cars like Greenville does. So this is why Greenville's cars look a lot more detailed than they would if they were just made straight out of Roblox Studio. And that's what I really like about them, because some games just make the cars throughout Roblox Studio and they just tend to look a lot more blocky and less detailed in general than Greenville. So yeah. And then the next thing is that Greenville has a very immersive roleplay experience. So you can find anything from special roleplays to just regular roleplays, and even in public servers sometimes you can even actually find some really good roleplays to get into. Like, you can, for example, buy houses, you can get interactive jobs, you can, of course, drive cars, and just all of that stuff. And it is very, very cool. And a lot of games on Roblox don't really do a good job at this type of stuff, especially some roleplay related games. But in my opinion, Greenville pretty much nails it for a Roblox game. And that's one thing that I do really like about the game. And then, guys, the next thing here is roleplay servers. And roleplay servers are, like, really, really cool in Greenville, and you can find so many different ones. So right here I'm in the official Greenville roleplay, which is the actual, like, official one. And this one hosts, like, a couple special roleplays and stuff like that, and it's overall just really, really cool. And, you know, there's a lot of cool roleplays that go on in here, and if you do want to get into, like, actual good roleplays and not just public servers with people who don't know how to roleplay, then these types of servers are really good things to go into. And I mean, the official Greenville roleplay server isn't even the only, like, actual good one. So, for example, to name a few, we have Greenville Roleplay, or KGVRP, who host, like, a lot of really cool, like, special roleplays and stuff like that. And it's also ran by Greenville developers too, so that's probably half of the reason why it is so good. And then you also have other servers like BGVRP and stuff like that, which are also really good. And this server is actually almost, like, this server is super big. This server is almost at 30,000 members. And they also occasionally do host special roleplays as well, and overall just really good roleplays. But yeah, so for those of you who are 13 plus and do want to get into some roleplay servers, I definitely highly recommend getting Discord in order, so then you can actually play in some of these really cool roleplays with pretty much nobody fail roleplaying either. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Alrighty, so now we are moving on to cons, and this is where things might get a little bit different. Right, so the next thing here might be a bit of a controversial thing, but this is that you can't AFK grind. And I do understand why Greenville doesn't want people AFK grinding, at least I think I do. And I'm assuming it's just because they don't want people to get millions of dollars and just, like, you know, get super rich, because then you won't see anybody with, like, regular cars in public servers. I can guarantee that. People will probably just be rolling around in supercars and stuff like that. So they probably do it to limit those amounts of people who do that, because if Greenville does catch you AFK grinding nowadays, which I'm assuming majority of people who do still AFK grinding, sadly, probably still use the cruise control method, but yeah, if you AFK grind, you're pretty much guaranteed to get your account either wiped of all your money, or you are pretty much guaranteed to get your account banned from Greenville. So I mean, it is unfortunate for some of us who would like to get super rich, but at the same time, it's definitely understandable. But I'd say that is kind of technically a con, since you can AFK grind in other games like Southwest Florida, or pretty much games like that. So yeah. Also, the next thing here is money, and I've mentioned this so many times before, but money is just too expensive in this game. I mean, if you want to buy $600,000, you're gonna have to be spending 4,500 Robux, which, I'm sorry to say it, but I don't think that's really worth it at all, because you could buy much more valuable things for the amount of money it costs to get that amount of Robux, and it doesn't even take that long to get $600,000 just from, like, driving around and stuff like that. So, in my opinion, money is definitely a con of Greenville, or at least buying money, because it's just too overpriced in my opinion, and a lot of other people do agree with me on this one. And then the last thing here is that majority of the cars cost game passes. So game passes in Greenville are surprisingly not that expensive Robux wise, but there are still a good majority of players who unfortunately cannot purchase game passes for whatever reason. So majority of cars that are actually, I guess, somewhat decent do need game passes. And I mean, like, you can get good cars that don't cost game passes, like some of the ones that I'm showing right here. However, if you do want anything like supercars or just like good sports cars or anything, then you're gonna have to buy game passes for it. Same with electric cars as well, and just law enforcement and luxury cars too. And I mean, it is unfortunate that it is like that. I do feel like Greenville could have implemented a different thing when it came to game passes into the game, but it is understandable at the same time why they've kept it this way since GV3. And I'd say it's most likely because that if they changed it all now, then people would probably feel ripped off because they pretty much spent their Robux on game passes for nothing. So I don't expect Greenville to change this anytime soon, but I do feel like that was kind of a mistake in Greenville's earlier days for them to make the game pass system work like that, because games like Southwest Florida, in my opinion at least, have a really good game pass system. But yeah, that's just my opinion, I guess. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Again, if you did happen to enjoy, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe. But yeah, anyways, see you later guys, and goodbye.